From that box in the middle of nowhere, it's around midnight. For Friday, October the 6th, you got the local boys right here. I am Joe Carbonetta. I've got CJ Divine sitting right here across from me, and the infamous Todd Fluker, who's not in the signature Around Midnight Orange tonight. What happened, Todd?
You can only wear so much orange.
Oh, okay. All right. He's manning the internets as always. And remember that we are live.
Personing.
Personing? Oh, are you seriously going to...
We've coined the phrase. Now we have to stick with it.
You coined the phrase. I'm going with manning.
Yeah, if you want to be insensitive.
I don't think he has a choice.
I think Chevelle's called me worse, actually. Anyway, we are live tonight, and you can give us a call anytime during the show at 951-356-6882. That is 951-356-6882. Who's got the pointer? I mean,
I need a haircut. Wait,
yeah, no, you're blocking my camera.
I do this way?
Actually, you do need a haircut. Anyway, yes, we are live. You can call us right there. Todd, tell them how they can contact us on the internets, and don't tell them about how they can get on YouTube.
Yeah, should we talk about Chevelle's Super Fro? Because
I'm working on something
We
here.
got the new over-the-shoulder shot, and it's just dominating the camera. You can't see anything. Anyway,
wow.
You could
Frovision.
you can hit us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Mixified Radio. Tweet us at Mixified, or send us one of those snail emails, mixified@gmail.com.
Oh, speaking of which, you can actually Twitter us all now. You can
Did
tweet
you just say Twitter us?
Yeah, you can Twitter. You can tweet to all of us.
At us.
So I'm at Joe Carbonetta.
Go ahead and send us a tweeter.
You're at Todd Fluker, and you're at Chevelle Divine, right?
I will be by the end of the show.
You will be at the end of the show. At Chevelle Divine. So yeah, tweet us.
You had homework, Chevelle.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right.
You were talking about your son not doing his homework. I see where he gets it from.
Shut up.
Well, thanks for joining us this Friday night. We hope you've had a great week, and we hope you're having a fantastic Friday night. How about you guys? You guys have a good week?
It's a week. It's been a busy week, I can say that.
Okay.
There's a lot going on in the world, man.
Yeah, there's been a lot going on in the last week, that's for sure, and we got lots to talk about this evening. So let's get right into it. First of all...
Hey, my
What?
week was good, too.
Well, you were sitting there sipping on your soda. I didn't think you wanted to add into this, but...
My week was nice and relaxing.
Oh, really?
Since we had last week off.
You had
Kind
last
of.
week off?
Yeah,
I mean-
man. You take a week off and
Talk about having
studio kinda
homework.
goes
What
to
did
pot.
you do?
No, I mean, we had the week off.
Oh, we had the week. Yes, we did. Well, yeah, there was a lot that contributed to that, but yes, we did. Thank you for bringing that up, Todd. We were not here last Friday night. If you were wondering what the change in dates are, that there's actually a hole in our timeline. That's what it was.
Are we
weren't
talking
here
about
last
time
Friday
zones
night.
again?
He
Yeah,
had to
what is-
come up.
What is with you and the time zones?
Well, it's called Around Midnight.
So, yeah.
There's that.
Okay. You need some help putting your arm back in the socket? Because, I mean, you were reaching on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, yeah, we missed a day, but I'm sure we got a lot done, to prep for this show. So, this is going to be a well-oiled machine.
if only I had some laughter in here, I would
Some
play
can-
that, but I don't
some
have any
canned
laughter.
laughs.
Yeah,
I was
that would
waiting
be-
for crickets, but even the crickets got quiet on that one.
Seriously.
So long, suckers!
So-
What did it say?
No, it's a catch you on the flip, suckers.
Shut the flip.
But anyway, I got to start this off this evening by sort of vindicating something that Chevelle has said on one or two previous shows. It got lost among the headlines, and of course we're going to touch on everything that happened in the last week or so. But prior to that, it was making headlines that ICE had staged a bunch of raids targeting illegal immigrants, and specifically they seemed to go after immigrants in the sanctuary cities. Those that had identified themselves previously as sanctuary cities seemed to be the recipient of most of the attention.
Told you so. Told you so. Sorry. It's kind of dusty in here after
got
we're taking the
something?
week off.
Yeah.
These microphones are so dusty. Chevelle, you got something caught in your throat.
Yeah. Pride.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. So I have to say you called it, and I guess it really wasn't a stretch. But,
I mean, there's absolutely nothing these cities can do to stop it. So why?
Well, the interesting thing is now these cities are going to have to put their money where their mouth is, because most of these sanctuary cities pledged that they would do all they could to provide legal defense for people that were caught up in these raids, and apparently the day of reckoning is here.
That day has arrived. And what are they actually going to do?
Nothing.
Well,
What can they actually do?
Nothing. I mean, the only thing that can really change what happens is if they actually pursue this to the Supreme Court. And I just don't see the Supreme Court saying, yeah, it's okay for illegal immigrants to be safe in these cities that call themselves sanctuary cities.
No, you're probably right there. There's no legal precedent that's going to get them off the hook. And even the rumors of deals going on in the White House now between the Democrats and President Trump, talking about actually making some permanent form of the DACA program probably is not going to help anybody that's caught up in these raids. But on the flip side of that, you do have to admit that it's a bit of dirty pool for the government to sit there and specifically target these cities. I mean, clearly they're trying to make a statement.
That's not dirty pool. That's good strategy. Come on. If we were going to go and attack an enemy, and an enemy's been running around saying, yeah, we're going to hide over in this hill. We'll be at the 400 feet up and 300 feet in. They'll never find us in this cave. Where are you going to go look?
Yeah, well.
I don't know.
You can't get mad at people
where
for...
would you look?
Frankly, and it's sad that I'm going to say this, but I see that as a really rational use of resources.
We need to set up
Why am I going to go attack this city, 4 cities over from L.A., when L.A. says they're going to be a sanctuary city?
We need to set up some decoy sanctuary cities. That's what we got to have cities that say that they're going to be sanctuary cities that actually don't have a large immigrant population.
Oh, I thought you meant like actual decoys, like set some...
Like Metropolis or
Set like a dummy, a mannequin out on the street with a sombrero on it, and then ICE would jump on it?
Oh, man.
What did he say?
Wow.
That would be kind of amusing, actually.
That
but,
might work.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Or, say they're all in Arizona, because God knows there's no sanctuary cities there.
What the hell are you talking about?
All right.
No sanctuary to be found.
So of course, moving on to other less significant items that were in the news, we lost Hugh Hefner last week.
Did we, though? Did we lose him?
At the age of 91.
I mean, we kind of knew where he was, right?
That's true, but yeah, he's
He had
passed
it coming.
on. He went to the great Playboy in the Sky, I guess, the great Bunny Ranch.
I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say we did lose him. He was keeping it real till the end. He was still doing his thing.
That man is single-handedly funding the entire penis pill industry.
Yeah, he was cutting loose. Yeah, I think I remember hearing some story, somebody talking about Hugh Hefner saying he was taking so much Viagra that he might have gone blind in one eye or something, or completely blind, but he was saying, like, I'd rather have my penis work than my eyes.
Wow.
It was some weird quote like that. I don't know. I'll have to find something to put that against.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to
against
say
exactly?
to that.
That's what he said.
Oh.
That'll be the day.
Okay, and of course, Tom Petty, rocker Tom Petty, also passed away this last week at the age of 66, and it was basically a heart attack, and so that was kind of sad. Now, of course, we have to move on to
Trump in the news.
Wow, that's all Tom Petty got? Rocker Tom Petty died. Anyway.
Wait, yeah, what else are we gonna say? What are you gonna say about that?
I mean, you can't say anything like, "Oh yeah, American Girl."
I didn't hear you.
That was a thing.
I didn't hear you break out in some like free falling or anything like that.
Personally, at first when I heard it, I thought of Bob Dylan at first.
Everybody
And I
does.
was
What do you know about Bob Dylan?
And I was like, Bob Dylan sucks.
He was like, Bob Dylan's already dead, isn't he?
He sounds like it when he plays the harmonica.
I'm going to try and forget you said that.
He's awful at that.
Wow.
Okay, well, all right. So
Hippies everywhere
Going
are
on to-
rolling their joints.
going on. God.
I was gonna say over in their graves, but
All right, moving on to the Trump in the news. Did you guys see the footage of him going down to Puerto Rico and throwing paper towel rolls like it was the T-shirt cannon at the Rams game?
He was making it rain paper towels.
I mean, what do you say to that?
He's making America great again?
one roll of towels at a time.
Really?
Who in his immediate circle told him that would be a good plan?
Okay, first off,
seriously.
you are assuming that the people in his immediate circle even have any kind of influence. Because if you've noticed, he's been changing people in that circle like every 35 seconds.
He's like, you just got here. I'm not listening to you.
I mean, you'd think he was either doing another, like he thought that he was doing another campaign address of some kind, like, it's already working on the next election, or he was doing a grand opening of another Trump Tower somewhere, Trump Hotel. I don't understand it. These people are out there literally with no supplies, no water, no electricity, and he's chucking paper towel rolls like he's the next great quarterback.
Well, I've heard that Trump is a germaphobe. So he doesn't like to get his hands dirty. He doesn't like touching people.
That's how you're going to try and
No.
explain
I'm
this
just saying.
off?
I've heard that. Because they said the same thing when he went down to Texas. Of course, everybody's talking about Ivana's shoes. But Trump just doesn't like germs. So
her
it's
flood-
probably a stretch for him to get there.
Her flood heels.
Yeah, exactly. But come on, this is Donald Trump. Are we really surprised by this?
I'm not so much surprised as I am
shocked.
ashamed that he's the leader of our country.
I mean, I halfway accept him to just go and grab him by the nalgas.
That's what he keeps
You know,
talking about.
Here's the thing. There was a statistic done on a very informal survey that basically suggested that 54% of Americans didn't know that Puerto Rico was a U.S. territory.
Wait, are you serious?
And I'm thinking Donald
It's a U.S.
Trump-
territory?
Yeah. I'm thinking Donald Trump was one of them.
They are us.
No, I'm sure Trump knows that because it's probably one of the places he buries cash.
Really? I don't think so, because if that's the case, those people would actually have some money to start rebuilding their crushed infrastructure.
No, he buries his cash. He doesn't share it.
Wait, why would he
there's a
bury cash there?
I'm sure there's some kind of
They're
rules
U.S.
as it's
territory,
yeah,
so
but
they
there's
must
got to be some
still
kind of
be-
rules where if I put it in Puerto Rico,
Yeah, basically, as a territory, they really get the shaft because they still have to pay taxes, but they don't get to vote.
Yeah,
they get some votes.
and apparently they don't
They
get
just
much,
recently got the congressman. I think that was a reason.
Yeah, he's a sightseer. He doesn't really do anything.
I mean, they are way out there in the middle of the ocean, guys.
Yeah, I mean it's not like they're as close as Hawaii.
It's
Oh, wait.
super far.
They're closer than Hawaii.
Super far out there.
Okay. So, going back to Trump and his paper towel
Yeah.
antics, and then on top of that, sitting there and suggesting that the Puerto Ricans are lazy and want everything done for them because they're saying that they're not getting enough aid fast enough.
Well, just look at how many people died in Florida or Houston. And then how many people... That was abominable for him to say something like that. Like, how many people have died here? 6. It sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, he's not a bright guy.
No, definitely not. Okay.
But he is the president, so suck it.
Who are you telling to suck it? The Puerto Ricans?
Yeah, exactly. Who was that? Who was that directed at? there?
I was just making conversation. I don't really listen.
Your
to myself.
conversations scare me, chump. Really, they do. All right. Okay, so of course we now have to move into the big news of the week, which was the horrific tragedy that took place in Vegas on Sunday at the concert out there behind the MGM.
Yeah.
And there's at this point there's not any new information that we could disseminate that hasn't already been addressed a million times over. And rightly so. I mean, this is a tragedy of horrific proportions. Of course, it is now the worst mass shooting in U.S. history.
Yeah.
So you have Stephen Paddock, 64 years old, just goes out there. He spends a couple of days stockpiling some 30 some odd weapons in his hotel room, and manages to get a couple of great vantage points from 2 different windows within his room, and just opens fire. He takes out 59 people, wounds in some way, shape, or form another 515. And it's, what can you say at this point?
Don't touch my guns.
Don't touch your guns.
Don't touch my guns.
That's your response.
That's my response.
Is back to the Second Amendment rights
oh, yes.
issue.
Don't touch my guns.
Well, I've always been a proponent of the Second Amendment, but even I have to take a step back at this moment in time. I'm not sure what you could do that would change this. I'm not convinced that gun control is going to make a difference. Now, that having been said, this guy acquired all of his weapons completely legally. And though none of the weapons that he used were actually fully automatic, he managed to take advantage of a loophole in the law. He used this this device called a bump stock, which basically allows your finger to stay in one position, and as the recoil moves the weapon back and forth, it causes your finger to keep depressing the trigger, and you have what is basically the same effect as a full automatic weapon.
Maybe a little bit slower.
We're talking tenths of a second.
Yeah.
It certainly didn't make any kind of difference to those poor people that were sitting targets down there on the ground.
It did not. But my whole thing about gun control is it's actually not even really so much about the Second Amendment, although the Second Amendment, I think, states it very well, because the whole purpose of the Second Amendment is to defend yourself from the tyranny of oppression from the government, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have a problem with me not having a gun if nobody else has a gun. But if anybody else has a gun, including the government, I want to be able to have a gun.
But see, very often when you have tragedies of this magnitude, they're often perpetrated by terrorists who don't acquire the weapons legally. This is one of the rare instances where you have a guy who has a stockpile of weapons, and every one of them was acquired legally.
Yeah.
So,
well, here's the one thing that still bothers me about this whole situation. There is no motive.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence that can lead you in a lot of different directions. Certainly it's been revealed that there have been some psychological issues within his family. There's also suggestions that he might have carried a grudge against the casinos. They know he had some significant gambling debts, but they also had video of him in one of the casinos apparently slipping and falling. Now, whether that was staged or real is up for interpretation, but it is on video, him falling in the casino, on the casino floor, and he evidently did attempt to sue. That went to arbitration. The arbitrators sided with the casinos. He got nothing. So there's speculation that perhaps he was bent on some kind of revenge. And again, we go back to the psychological issues where it's entirely possible that he just didn't have any remorse or even any concern or feeling for the victims in this, that he was only concerned about himself and his grudge, and never cared one iota about any of the other people.
It's hard for me to have conversations like this without turning it to not even mental health, but just the spiritual side of it. Because I think what this guy's experiencing, we're going to see a lot more of, because people have abandoned hope. There's no trust in the government. There's no trust in your neighbors. There's very little faith in what anyone can do. And actually, if you're looking at the situation in Las Vegas, from the moment he opened fire, how long before the police were able to get there?
Well, the police actually started responding very shortly afterward, but apparently they were not prepared to deal with the situation.
I don't think anybody would be prepared to deal with it. But my point is this: there's, and this could be considered one of those pro-gun things. Is like, I got a guy in front of me with a gun right now, and me calling 911 is not gonna keep that guy from shooting me right now. But me having a gun might stop that guy from shooting me.
Well,
right now.
we got to get back into that in a minute. We do have to take a break right now, and we're going to come back in just a couple minutes, and we'll delve further into this particular line of thinking, because I actually do want to respond to that too. You're watching Around Midnight with the Local Boys. We kind of got a serious conversation going for the moment, but remember that we are live, 951-356-6882. That's the number to call, and or you can send us an email, or you can send us a tweet. You can contact us all kinds of ways. If you want to get in on our conversation tonight, do one of those things, but let us know. Let us hear from you, and we definitely want to talk to you. And we'll be back right after this on Around Midnight. Malibu Film Festival's films, charity events, and special programs continue to evolve in support of the arts in your community. You can help by becoming a sponsor of the Malibu Film Festival. Donate at MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. That's MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. Go ahead and check them out, because you can get all kinds of information, including the upcoming Malibu Film Festival. Once again, MalibuFilmFestival.com/donate. All right, we're back right here on Around Midnight with the Local Boys. I'm Joe Carbonetta. I've got CJ Divine.
Is that what we're going to do today?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, you know what? I toggle back and forth between the two. I'm never. It's not like I pre-plan it. I don't. I probably should, but I don't. And of course, Todd Fluker over here. He's manning the internets as always and doing a fantastic job.
Got
Todd.
2 clipboards over here, and you can't write down which name you want to use.
No, I like confusing everybody, especially since apparently you couldn't be bothered to fix your Twitter handle.
I can't use the one that I want. Somebody else has it. Believe it or not.
Who has Chevelle Divine?
I don't know.
Some guy named Chevelle.
Somebody has Chevelle. Somebody has CJ Divine. Somebody has C Divine. So
You're kidding me.
And Chevelle Divine is just so long.
There is no way that somebody else has that handle.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Nope.
There can't be another Chevelle Divine in the world.
Wait, so you're saying, but Chevelle Divine is
fine?
Is
Chevelle
available.
Divine.
At Chevelle Divine.
Whatever.
See, I knew it. I knew he was lying. There is no other
But
Chevelle
I don't want
Divine.
that. That's so long.
What about at Chump?
That's probably taken.
I was going to suggest that too. But yeah,
Chump
okay.
Divine.
So going back to our conversation earlier, and you were discussing the idea that if you had your own weapon, that you could perhaps defend yourself. And I wanted to speak to that because it's an interesting premise, and one that on the whole I agree with. But in this particular scenario, it wouldn't have done any good.
If the person in the next room had a weapon, it may have.
If the person in the next room, there was no person in the next room. That's the problem. And by the way, it's been discussed that this guy, this Stephen Paddock, actually set cameras out in the hallway, outside of his room, one looking one direction, one looking the other, so that he would know when the police or anybody else attempted to make a move on him. He actually took shots at a security guard, the first security guard who attempted to breach the room. And it wasn't until the SWAT team started moving in that he realized he didn't have a snowball's chance in where, and that's when he took himself
here's
out.
my thing.
Sorry,
With a
did
situation like
did
this,
you censor yourself from saying hell?
I did. I really did.
the thing with a situation like this is you can't use the extreme situation in order to change an entire culture or an entire history of a nation. Gun control is a real issue. but controlling the guns is not going to keep people from doing what he did.
Well, I agree. Like I said,
Because even with this situation, first off, mass shootings like this are an exception to the rule when it comes to shootings in general.
Oh, yeah,
Most
when you-
shootings are small arms fire in close quarters in impoverished neighborhoods.
and when you think about the number of people who have firearms in their home versus the number of people that actually go out and commit some dastardly act like this, the numbers are pretty skewed.
The numbers favor people having weapons, and nobody wants to hear that, or at least nobody wants to say that. I'll say it.
But see, in this instance, you couldn't use a handgun to defend yourself because you wouldn't have the accuracy or the range to return fire on this guy with a high-powered
I
rifle.
understand that, and again, this is a situation that is an exception. So I get tired. One of the things about anybody who wants me to be pro or anti whatever your little cause is you can't go to the extreme case and expect me to be able to modify my beliefs based on this one situation, this one isolated incident way off in the distance. If you can demonstrate to me that most people with weapons are hurting themselves or others or loved ones and using these weapons in a way that is not safe or not beneficial, I'm all in.
Well, you know that I love to play devil's advocate. In fact, it's part of my job over here in this chair. But
That used to
there
be my
are
job.
those. Yeah, that's true. How the tables have turned. But there are those who would argue that it doesn't. That you don't feel this way, or that you feel the way you do because what happened in Vegas last Sunday didn't affect you personally. Had it been you or your family members there, you might feel differently.
Okay, I have family members that have been shot.
Okay.
I have family members that have killed people, and I still feel this way.
Really?
Because
We're
criminals
friends.
are criminals.
We're friends, right, Chevelle?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right.
Depends on how this conversation is.
Oh,
So no, it wouldn't change my mind.
okay.
Just like
At least he's honest, right?
if we can go back to the greatest tragedy in American history, 9/11. That didn't change my mind about having freedom from government intrusion, but the Patriot Act is still law. But just because some people from a totally foreign country, who may or may not have had local assistance, blew up the towers, doesn't mean that I think it's okay for the FBI to listen to every phone call I make. So no, I don't think that you take these rare, extreme exceptions. That's why they're called extreme.
Yeah, then again, I would say you don't feel it's right for them to be monitoring your phone calls because you're not a terrorist and you're not plotting to blow anything up.
Right, exactly. That's exactly right. But at the same time, they're not my phone lines, and if I was really that concerned about it, I could just go, live in another country with a gun.
Actually, you could just go and live in another state. I mean, open carry laws exist in Nevada.
Yeah.
And in fact,
We'll
as
see
it
how
turns
long
out,
that stays the case.
43 of the 50 states here, it is legal to own a fully automatic weapon.
Yeah.
California being, of course, one of the seven states that are the exception.
It's the states that are on the coast primarily, and I think like the major cities like Detroit, those types of cities in the Midwest. Other than that, everywhere else, it's not an issue.
So let's move into the idea.
Real quick, Kelly
All right.
has a comment on the YouTube chat.
Okay.
She says, also, she doesn't understand how mental health it doesn't come into play more. No sane person can do such a thing. And she also hates that, also, I hate this issue of needing your gun. How many of those people were gun holders, and what good did it do them?
Well,
Again,
let's face it, it was a
it's an
country music
extreme
concert.
situation.
Probably a lot of them
Yeah,
actually were
there
gun
probably were a
owners.
lot.
Yeah, it was
Probably-
probably.
and it-
I mean,
a large
it's already
number.
come out that
And
a
it
lot of
was in
them were
Nevada.
police officers
Yeah.
that are in there.
Yeah.
So guns,
And
country music, and police.
soldiers. Yeah, they talked about that one Marine guy.
But you know what? I'm actually going to say that I'm on your side. I've said this before. I do think that we should be allowed to actually carry concealed weapons. I have also said, however, that I think there should be an extensive background check done. I'm fully on board with submitting to a psychological evaluation.
I don't know that I agree with that.
I think that you should have to actually show proof that you've not only had a firearm safety course, but that you've actually gone to training to use the weapon, to shoot it and hit your target. I think with a certain level of proficiency.
I would be okay with the training. I would be okay with a basic background check. Because, I mean, we already have laws in the books about felons. If you've committed gun violence, I don't think you should be allowed to have a gun. But again, a lot of the people who are trying to push for this gun control are trying to push this because of criminal activity.
Mm-hmm. That's
No
usually
one-
the inspiration
yeah,
for
but
laws.
No one has ever given me a reason that says this guy's perfectly legal ownership of a firearm is dangerous to me. Because it's not. Anyone who is legally and lawfully using their weapon purely for self-defense or for sport, which is also a legal use, is not a threat. Criminals are threats. This man, no matter how he got his weapons, committed a criminal act. So it's the criminal act that is the problem, not the weapon. Granted, the weapon helped him to commit a heinous act.
Okay, but let's take a step back. And you're saying that you're not sure you agree with the whole psychological evaluation thing.
No, because I've seen where that has been used against people just to shut them down.
Let's take a step back here for a second, because this guy bought 33 weapons in the span of 12 months.
Yeah.
You don't think there's a red flag there? I mean, like I said, I'm all
I will
for the
answer your
whole
question like
idea
this.
of owning guns too. But when somebody walks in and starts buying gun after gun after gun, and they're building themselves a small arsenal in 12 months, I start wondering what's going on.
I will answer your question like this.
Okay.
I would do the same thing if I could. I like to eat, so I can't buy as many guns. And ammo is expensive.
But what do you need 33 weapons for?
I don't need 33 weapons, and I don't have 33 weapons, so it's not an issue. But, I mean, if I had the
But
ability...
you're saying if you could, you would.
Why does Jay Leno need 100 cars or more? Why does any American need to have a 6-bedroom home when they've got 2 people in their family? Why does any American need to have a half an acre for a lot, for a home, when you've got people in other countries who don't have that? We can go on and on and on and on forever. The bottom line is this is America, and we have the ability to do it.
So you're saying because you should?
No, I'm not even saying because you can, you should. I'm just saying that because you can doesn't mean somebody should tell you you shouldn't, as long as this is still America. We came here to live the dream, so stop trying to kill my dreams, as it were. Maybe not the best choice of words.
And Kelly chimes in.
Yeah, really, it was not the best choice of words.
The psych evaluation would be useless if someone wants to do such a thing. They can get someone else to get the guns for them, or just act sane to pass the test.
And again, that comes right back to it's a criminal act. It does have to do with mental health, but a person can be perfectly mentally healthy when they get the weapons. But here's the other problem I have just with the whole background.
Before you go into that, I just want to say one thing to Kelly. I don't think that an insane person could act sane for the purposes of passing a test.
That's a little spurious.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead now.
But I mean, you can let's just take any kind of testing first off. Let's take the DMV test. How many people have licenses and have passed those tests that can't drive worth crap?
And I've also said a million times it's too easy to get a license in this state.
And you don't think they'll do the same thing? I mean, this is my problem. You are saying, number one, we don't trust ourselves, so we need somebody else to govern this aspect of our lives. You're asking for more government involvement.
Is in general.
Yes,
we don't trust ourselves. And
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think a lot of people, they want to try to push the responsibility of their own personal responsibilities or responsibilities of their neighbors. They don't want to hold their neighbors accountable because they don't themselves want to be held accountable. So they push it off to the government and say, hey, you should tell this guy not to do this. And they're cool with it as long as you don't tell me not to do it. And that's kind of this whole situation with gun control. They don't want to come to me and say, hey, I don't think you should have a firearm for X, Y, Z. They're going to go tell the government to tell me I can't have a firearm. And worse, when you're dealing with a country like America that basically goes from on the farthest west, the tip of Alaska, which is in Russia's backyard, all the way over to the farthest east, which I guess would be Puerto Rico.
Okay.
That's a huge span of space. That is how many different cultures and how many different subcultures and how many different there's so many different ways of life in there. This is not Holland where you have a bunch of people in this, semi-rural European country. This is a totally different creature.
Well,
and you have like 2 or 3 cities that are dictating the politics of the entire nation. Let's say states.
I want to bring up another interesting point here. Every time that something like this happens, it doesn't take long, and in fact, it took Hillary Clinton less than 12 hours to jump on the gun control bandwagon all over again. And we won't even get into how she more or less inserted her foot in her mouth by speculating on how bad this could have been had he gotten a silencer that apparently the NRA would like to make legal.
And should be.
And I don't know why you would sit there and say that. I mean, forgive the pun, but the gun smoke wasn't even out of the air yet, and she's already postulating on how much worse it could have been. But that having been said, anytime something like this happens, we immediately hear the people come out and start talking about gun control and how this wouldn't have happened if we had stricter gun control laws, if we managed to disarm the honest American citizen.
And that is a bold-faced lie.
But see, here's the other thing. How come nobody ever addresses all of the violence that's on TV, the violence that's in movies, the violence that's in video games, when we have psychological study after study that shows that when people are exposed to this over and over again, especially when it starts in their youth and continues on through their adult lives, that they become desensitized to this stuff. And they actually are more likely to go out and do this kind of thing because they just don't see it as being as horrific as any rational person should.
Why did you motion towards me when you said that?
I did not. I never even looked at you.
He very clearly did a motion towards me. He said, when people play violent video games when they're younger,
I think Todd's getting
this
paranoid.
guy...
Yeah, we need to have him a psych eval.
Yeah, right. Seriously, we need to make sure he doesn't have any weapons.
Who's that 5150?
Yeah, I think I pretty much stated my position. My position is basically
serious. Why is that never addressed?
I don't think that that's really as big of an issue.
You don't
I really don't.
You don't think that has
I
anything
really
to
don't.
do with it?
I'm not going to say it has nothing to do with it, but I think that that's not the main issue. It is not the main issue. There are plenty of people who do watch all that stuff and play all those games who lead perfectly normal lives.
What I'm saying is that there's more than one factor at play here, and
Yes.
we're fixated
grasping
on
at
one
straws is what we're
specific
doing.
quick fix.
They're grasping at straws because no one wants to have the real conversations about what drives a person to do this type of thing. And in this specific case, we have no idea what drove this man to do this thing.
Yeah, that's the tragedy is that we may, well, that's another tragedy, I should say, that we may never know
No,
exactly what caused this guy to go over.
I don't think we'll ever know, but I think there will be a story that is told because no one likes loose ends. So it's going to be, they're going to wrap it up with a tidy little bow.
That's the
somewhere or the
conspiracy
other.
theorist coming out here now.
Well, it's just the way people work. No one's going to want to leave this one undone. They're going to want to do something for politicians, if for no other reason, because then they can stand on that soapbox and say, I did this.
Okay. Todd, you have said virtually nothing on the gun control issue. I would really like to know what your opinion is on this.
Yeah, especially with this Vegas tragedy, there have been so many things to unbox with the whole thing. I mean, it's just so early in the process that, we don't know so much about why this guy did what he did, why his crazy girlfriend was at an airport or at the venue or somewhere yelling, "Oh, you're all gonna die."
Oh no, that wasn't his girlfriend. That
Or
was some.
whoever
Well,
that is.
we don't know that she was related, but yeah, there apparently was that report of some woman out there yelling that you're all going to die. So
Yeah.
it does leave you to wonder how that plays into
There's
this.
so many conspiracy theories about multiple shooters, about how could this guy actually, given his advanced age, how could he accomplish all this stuff? How could he shoot from the MGM Grand?
Yeah,
he was at the Mandalay Bay.
Mandalay Bay, yes.
All the way
Mandalay
across
Bay,
behind
all
the
the way
MGM.
across the way and
At the
into
MGM,
this
the parking lot of the
event
MGM
parking
Grand.
lot. Yeah, there's so many things. And I mean, it's going to become a freaking JFK type thing. There's magic bullets all over the place. But yeah, just when it generally comes to gun control, I feel like there is definitely something that should be done. There is
The only thing
almost
left
no
to do-
reason. I'm talking. There's almost
I like the thing.
no reason for a person to have a gun that can spit out that many bullets a second.
Why not?
What do you need it for?
I mean, I know what I would need it for.
What?
I need it for what the Second Amendment says you should have it for, to protect yourself from the tyranny of the government. They've got tanks. I can't have something that
Do
shoots
you
more than 5
really
rounds.
think you're going to stand up to the government if they want to take you down?
No, history has shown that we can't. I mean, all we have to do is go back and look at David
He
Koresh's
watched all those
situation.
Will Smith movies. He really actually does believe that,
I think
No,
he's gonna
I'm-
be the one
I'm
guy.
not so foolish to
him
believe
and Gene
that.
Hackman, and he's actually lined his room with tinfoil.
No, I'm not far from it, though. But here's the thing.
I've seen the helmet.
How
CJ.
much of my freedom do I have to give up before it's too much? That's all I'm saying. How much more do I have to give up?
How much is too much?
And it's not even that I have to give it up. It's just, what am I getting in return? Because you're telling me the story is I'm getting security in exchange for self-protection. I can't protect myself, but you'll do it for me. And that simply isn't true.
But weren't you just talking about how the problem is that nobody trusts anybody else now? And now you're sitting there going, I don't
Exactly.
trust anybody, so I need my gun.
Yeah, I don't trust people, so I'm going to give up being able to be secure myself to people who don't care about me. Because as far as the government's concerned, I'm a 9-digit number. That's all I am.
Yeah, well, you're just a 9-digit number to a lot of people, thanks to
Well,
that
exactly.
that big
So
scandal where
why-
they hacked into one of the credit bureaus, and now we're
Equifax.
yeah,
something got
exactly,
hacked.
yeah. So we're all
And I don't want to get too far off because I don't wholeheartedly, I don't like riding this bandwagon. But when you take like the whole Black Lives Matter thing, there are certain specific historical and cultural contexts with how people are treated in this country by a government, no matter which direction the pendulum swings. Because everybody's all feeling like, oh, racism is bad and all this crap today. But what about tomorrow? What about the next day? What about the next day? It swings back and forth. And all I'm saying is I don't want to have to gauge my security and my life by whichever direction the political winds blow. I want to be able to just live in my home, raise my kids, teach them right from wrong. And I think that I should have the ability to do that. Because quite frankly, even if we go beyond the gun control issue to something that's you think would be common sense, like having the right to raise your own children. The government literally claims ownership of your children. That's a problem. So when do I get to say no?
Oh, you don't anymore, especially not when
That's
it comes
a
to paying your
problem for me.
taxes. Anyway,
That's
we
a
got to take
problem.
another break. We're going to be back right after this. This is Around Midnight. It's Mixified's new Around Midnight, and we are live 951-356-6882. That's the number to call if you want to join the conversation. And of course, you can reach out to us via the internets. Todd is waiting to take your message and read it on the air, and we'll be back right after this. All right, Malibu Film Festival's film, charity events, and special programs continue to evolve in support of the arts in your community. And you can help by becoming a part of the Malibu Film Festival. Sponsor them by donating at malibufilmfestival.com/donate. And bless you, Todd. That's malibufilmfestival.com/donate. All right, this is Around Midnight. We're in the home stretch. We're in the last third of the show, and we're going to try and switch it up just a little bit, lighten up the topics.
Well, before we move on, we got a couple of YouTube comments.
Oh, all right,
I was
all right,
going
let's get those
off
out of
and
the
I
way.
didn't see them. But Kelly said, well, people can't go around acting crazy.
They can't
They
go around
are
acting
pretty
crazy.
calm
Have
and
you been
collected.
on Hollywood Boulevard?
They're pretty calm and collected to get what they want. So, yeah, I mean,
And there's different
I
kinds
don't
of
know.
crazy because some people
Yeah.
are, they seem crazy
Right,
when they're perfectly sane, and
there's
there's some people that seem perfectly
Absolutely
sane.
insane crazy. There's semi-crazy. There's Chevelle Divine crazy.
that's a whole different
Yeah, that's a
category.
whole different category
And
of
then
crazy.
Thomas chimes in. He says, I don't agree with CJ too often, but he's spitting some truth tonight.
Oh, okay. He's not.
That's a man who's thinking.
He's talking about not, you're gonna have to pry his weapons out of his cold dead hands, kind of
I
thing.
see. I really don't want it to come to that. What I really want is to not be put in a position where I have to make that choice.
I see.
That's what I really want.
All right.
But if the choice
But if
has
I
to
have to
come,
put into that choice,
you have
I
you
have
want
to be able to defend
make
my
it.
family, and if it means I've got to be a criminal to do it, then that's what's going to happen.
Okay. Good to know, I think.
Way to lighten things up, Chevelle.
Yeah. So like I said, we're
What
gonna try
kind
and
of
lighten it
laugh
up
was that?
now.
Where did that
There was another one of those wonderful
Knowing
informal
laugh.
surveys. I love to quote these because they're so ridiculous. They asked a whole bunch of really bizarre questions that, under normal circumstances, most people wouldn't probably want to answer. But somehow, as soon as somebody brings out a pen and paper and says, "Oh, this is a survey," I mean, seriously, you wouldn't answer this question in a casual conversation while you're out to dinner with your friends. At least I don't think. But somebody says, we're taking a survey, and everybody's all too happy to start
Well,
bringing all the skeletons out of the closet.
Well,
So,
that's some weird stuff sometimes.
do you guys pee in the shower? I'm curious.
Okay, so before we went up on the air,
Yes.
You do.
Sure.
They your wife know?
they
she
do it
does now?
together.
Yeah,
they,
she-
Oh, they do it
They've done it together. in
She
the shower.
definitely does too.
Yeah. Oh. Wow. Okay.
Is that what you're asking? I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, wow. What about you, CJ?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
I'll take it a step further. I've peed in the bathtub.
I hope you had the drain plug out before
Nope.
you.
That's gross.
Sat in
yeah.
it for 15, 20 more minutes.
Oh my God.
You're kidding. Tell
Nope.
me you're
then I
making
drain
that,
the water, and then I run fresh water, and if I got to go again, I pee again.
You really got to be making this up.
I'm not.
I know you say things just
Look,
to say
look,
things.
look. All you got to do is go read the ingredients on your shampoos and your soaps. You'll see urea is one of the ingredients on there, and that's synthesized pee, basically. So the stuff is actually good for your skin.
Wait, and did you say you will drain the tub and then run more water?
Yeah, I take long baths, and it gets cold, so I got to drain it to add more hot water.
So you're saying, yeah, you're gonna pee. You would rather go through all the trouble of draining all the water, putting more water in, rather than just getting up and going to the toilet.
No, I don't drain it because I peed in it. I just drain it because it's cold now.
I'm never
If
shaking.
it stayed hot, I would sit and pee water.
so that is
I'd
actually-
probably pee in it 3 times.
I'm
It's
never-
keeping it warmer longer. Actually,
I'm never
That's my
shaking
theory.
your hand again. That's what I have to say.
What?
to
My
that.
hands are clean. I was in the bathtub.
Yeah. Well, okay. So apparently you guys are not alone because according to the survey, 61% of people say they pee or have peed in the shower, and equally frightening to me because by the way, I have not ever done that.
Liar.
Okay, maybe when I was a baby. But equally disturbing to me, 41% of people admit to having done it in a swimming pool.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Again, I don't know what to say.
Why not? What's the problem? Fish pee in the ocean? Nobody complains about that. We drink fish pee all day long
I
out of
don't
the
drink
faucet.
ocean water.
You drink pee.
fish pee in you.
You're drinking dinosaur pee.
Okay, so you aren't weirded out by this particular statistic at all.
No, I'm not. I fully expect it. Is it gross? Yeah, kind of. But if it's just me and it's in my shower and, my wife probably doesn't want to hear this conversation right now. But yeah, I'm gonna pee. Gotta go.
Wow. Okay.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go. You gotta go.
Yeah, no. I see. I'll do that before I get in the shower, so I don't have the problem when I'm in the shower.
But what if you have a really long bath, like Chevelle said?
I don't generally go in for baths anyway, so it's just not an issue.
I love
and
a
I
bath.
don't take
Who
that
Who
long
still
in the
takes
shower.
a bath?
And you know what the funny thing about this is? I can't.
Besides
fit
you
in most-
sitting in your own pee,
that-
what?
that's
How
not
much
funny.
funnier could it be?
That's not funny. That's just economic use of resources. The funny thing is, like most people, like you particularly, Joe, are incredibly
You.
short, so you could fit more comfortably in the bathtub. Because I actually would take a nap in the bathtub. I've slept in the bathtub
After you've
overnight.
peed in it?
Yeah, why not?
That
I might
sounds
be peeing in it
dangerous.
while I'm sleeping. It can be. I have woken up to a couple of snortles of nostril full of pee water, which is disconcerting.
Oh.
I know what this YouTube clip's
Okay,
gonna be
look.
called.
All right, everybody, look. Here's the
Nostril
thing.
full of pee
You
water.
can go and you can look at every single one of those survivalist books, and they will all tell you that you either drink your pee, you use your pee to clean your wounds, or something else awesome about the strength of
Well,
pee.
I tell you what. The next time I get caught in a survivalist situation,
I'll pee on you.
No.
I'm gonna do it for your own good.
No.
You get stung by a jellyfish. What's the first thing they
Yeah.
tell you? Pee on it.
That's an urban myth.
All right. So,
But they tell you that.
Moving on with the statistics because this is just.
Wait, more about pee. There is actually, like they say, if you have athlete's foot or something,
Pee on it.
pee on it.
Now, this really pisses me off to no end.
Okay. 50%. Sorry, 50% of people say they fold their toilet paper before wiping. Only 30% say they just wad it up.
I thought we'd.
Interestingly enough, the folders were more likely to be male and the wadders were female.
Well, to be fair, females have to use a lot more toilet paper than males.
Have to?
Have
or
to? Yeah, I was gonna
choose
say have to.
They have to because, like males, after we pee, we don't need toilet paper. Women have to use toilet paper no matter what they do on that thing. They're always squatting and they always got to dab something.
Okay.
Wait, how's it go?
Are you dabbing?
All right. Now,
We dab in the toilet paper.
here's where it gets even. Here's where
You
it
think
gets
he
even
even knows
weirder
what that
because
means?
I don't know what it means. How do you? Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much
you guys are making my head hurt.
That's pretty much dabbing on
what,
the pee.
what amazed me was that 50% of the people said they would fold, while 30% just crumple it, which leads me to wonder what the other 20% are doing, by the way. If you're doing the math on this, 20% of people apparently aren't using toilet paper at all. But
Though,
then,
those are the Europeans.
Then of the 80%
Bidets are
that
getting more
responded to
popular.
question A, question B was, how many wipe from front to back while the others do it the opposite direction? And the answer to that came back, 60% of people go from front to back, while 20% go against the grain and do it back to front.
Against the grain.
Okay, which direction is front to back? So you're going from...
From your front side to your back side.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what other way that could be interpreted.
Okay, so from the taint to the spine is what we're talking about. That's
Really?
back.
Yes.
That's
Could-
going back.
Could
Yes.
could we find a way to be more vulgar about this? I'm just
What?
curious.
From the grundle to the spundle.
I don't know what that means.
I do. I'm sure we all got the gist of
Yeah,
that.
I think you get it.
Yeah. 60% of the people, by the way, think that the toilet paper roll should go over the top.
It should.
But 13% prefer it going under.
No, absolutely.
Yeah,
incorrect.
I'm an over the person. I will answer that one.
Absolutely.
Kelly chimes in. She says, "I'm a boxing glover." So
boxing lover?
I guess she goes and goes all around. No wonder we
So,
use
yeah,
so
see,
much
this is
toilet
what,
paper
that's,
in my house.
Yeah, there you go. That's that 30% that wadded up right there. See, I told you. It's more likely to be female who wadded up. Now, 43% of people admit to checking the contents of the bowl before they flush.
Only 43? Really?
Only 43%.
Who does not do that?
I try not to.
Yeah, I don't generally want to
Bro,
look
I
at
want to
it.
make sure it all came out. I want to make sure
I
it's
would
the right
think
color,
you would
the right
feel
consistency.
that you'd feel whether it all came
Yeah,
out
but
or
you know,
not.
you get those times where you get on there and you're like, brah, 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 and then you get up and you look and there's like 3 pellets in there.
All right, 30%, 37% of people looked at the toilet paper after wiping.
Yeah, that's weird.
You guys don't do that?
No.
Really?
What are you sitting there analyzing all of this?
No, I want to make sure I got it all. Like if you sit down and you're rubbing and you know, did I get everything? You got to check and see that there's something on the
Wait,
paper.
so you keep wiping until
No, I get
you
another
come
piece.
up clean?
I'm not double dabbing. That's,
Well, wait.
that's just
You
nasty.
don't do that? How?
No.
Then, what are you talking? Do you look at it to make sure it's
Well,
clean?
I'm kind of on board with him in that at some point you got to check and make sure that you got it all.
I feel like you can feel it.
Well, that
don't
explains
know,
what we're
bro.
smelling all the time in here. Is that what that fly that keeps circling around you is all about? I was wondering about that.
Ah, man.
Thomas
you got,
says,
you got to be sure.
Is taint a medical term?
Let's ask
Yes,
Google.
because he is Dr. Chevelle over here.
I'm going to check WebMD, see what it says. Actually, I am.
All right, 45% of people say they cover the toilet seat with paper before doing their business.
That's
This,
still
of course,
too much.
this of course being in a public bathroom.
Well, if they have the, I call them ass guards, like, you know, the,
Well, yeah.
city.
I'm assuming it's the same difference. You're either going to use one of those gaskets or you're going to, cover it with toilet paper. But
I have not covered with toilet paper before.
really, you've gone to a public bathroom and not bothered to.
I am very selective about the bathrooms I will
No,
do that in.
there is nothing to worry about putting your bare butt on any toilet seat unless you have open wounds on your butt cheeks. There's no way you can catch any kind of disease from a toilet seat.
And your medical license comes from where, Dr. Todd?
Where's your medical license to refute me?
To answer Thomas's
Touche,
question,
but-
taint is in fact a medical term, but it's usually referring to messing with the
Grundle.
sterility of something.
Interesting.
Like tainting the contents.
Grundle.
Oddly enough, when I went to WebMD, the first thing that came up when I did taint was pink eye.
Okay. Well,
That's kind
Yeah.
of gross.
Come on, you see all those stories about how your phone has more bacteria than a toilet seat. You have nothing to worry about from
that
a
tells
toilet
me one of two
seat.
things. Either people are not washing their hands or they're taking the phone and doing things with it in the bathroom.
Oh, definitely. What are you doing on the toilet?
I'm
Not
doing my
looking
business.
at your phone?
I'm doing my business in the bathroom. That's what I'm doing. It's what are you tweeting while you're in there? Take note when you
Candy Crush?
tweet to Todd.
You gotta catch your DMs.
When you write something at Todd Fluker, he's going to respond to you probably while he's on the throne.
Bacon brownies.
His responses come from the Oval Office. Anyway, and I'm guilty of this one, by the way. 36% of people use their foot instead of their hands to flush the toilet in a public bathroom.
And that's also contributing to germs just spreading everywhere. if other people didn't do that, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
I'm worried about the people who don't bother to check what they're doing when they wipe and then grab that flush handle.
I thought you said flesh handle for a second there. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, your flesh handle. You're not getting it on your hands for the most part.
Theoretically.
Yeah. I wonder about the crumple people. I always fold.
Okay.
I do both.
Well, see, apparently
Both?
Kelly has it completely
There's no
covered
both.
because
There
Kelly,
is both.
Kelly wraps her whole hand in that
Yeah,
so that
you
there's
wrap-
no way that you could
That's
get
the
any.
fold, and then you crumple it, and then, you know,
Wait.
bam, check, jump. Wrap, fold, crumple, bam, check, jump. That's how you do it. That's how it gets done. I've never had any butt infections. I'm good.
No open wounds on the butt?
No open wounds on this butt, except that one time with that skating incident in the swimming pool, but that was a different story.
I'm sorry, skating and a pool?
Yeah, I'm wondering.
It was a dried
there
out pool
water
in San Marino, and I went down there with this guy. He might have tried to hit on me.
This story is getting weirder by the
second.
word.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, so I was skating in there, and I had these shorts that had rivets in the pockets, and the rivet gouged my right butt cheek.
Grundle?
Yes, the rivet gouged my grundle.
Okay.
And a kindly older gentleman
No, man.
came out and helped you?
He was actually younger than me, but he was very kind, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to
Would you like some candy?
skate all the way
It'll make
back
you feel
from
better.
San Marino with the bloody grundle.
Okay. And lastly, 35% of people refuse to actually sit on a public toilet and instead just hover.
Yeah, most of these people have to be women.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well, yeah, as a general rule, as men,
Well, I
we
guess
don't,
if they're doing 50% of the population is female.
we don't
That's
have to.
skews
Well, no, this
the-
was 35%. Only 35% admit to hovering.
No. I mean, but if 50% of the people asked were female, then I think that probably skews a lot of these because I think men and women use the bathroom. Well, I know men and women use the bathroom differently typically. There are some that are stubborn, but as a general rule, men and women don't have to use the bathroom the same way.
Not if you wear those woke jeans. You see that SNL bit?
No.
That's pretty funny. The
Have
woke jeans.
Have no idea what you're talking
That was
about.
from Ryan Gosling this past weekend.
Oh, that's
Is that on TV?
They have this
swell.
the special jeans. They're called woke jeans.
I gotta
And
get
they're
some of those.
unisex. And they got the
I thought they already had those. I
Weird
thought they were calling
zipper.
those skinny jeans.
See, that's a trigger word. Some people aren't skinny, Chevelle.
The jeans are. So
Yeah, that's the problem.
well, get bigger skinny jeans.
Big skinny.
Yeah.
Huh.
You know, like Hutch.
Okay. I'm not even sure where that's going. But so yeah, that pretty much covers the statistics on this. I was just kind of curious to know where you guys came down on any of this.
So I guess I'm the dirty one in the room. Is that the idea?
I don't know, because Todd says he doesn't check anything.
I'll sit down on any toilet seat. Ain't no problem with that.
I do like to make sure it's dry. I don't like sitting on wet toilet seats. That's just nasty.
Yeah, I might wipe it down. I mean, if you gotta qualify. I didn't know I had to qualify this. Yes, you have to make sure the seat is clean.
Yeah, if it's got like that little brown nut in the back of the thing.
But wait, you said you
From
don't
the
have to worry
person.
about anything if you don't have any kind of open wound.
Yeah, but then
But nobody wants some other man's butt junk on his butt
I
cheek.
gotta sit on
That's
a
gross.
pile of poop, and then that's gonna get in my jeans.
You know, can you imagine? Like, what if you got into an accident on the way home and they're taking DNA and find some other dude's poop in your jeans?
Oh, you know what? It's time for us to get out of here. Seriously, I didn't think this conversation.
I'm just
could
saying,
get that
I don't want to
bad.
be convicted of a crime because some dead man's poop is in my jeans.
But you so totally found a way to make this worse.
Why is he dead all of a sudden?
Gun control.
Okay, I don't have anything to say anymore. You actually, I'm actually speechless after that one. All right, but on that note, it's time for the disclaimer. Which
Excuse me, Mr. Devine. Can you explain how you have this dead man's feces in your jeans?
views and opinions expressed on this show are solely those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect or represent those of Mixified, its producers, staff, or sponsors.
I swear, officer, this is the one time I did not check.
All materials contained within the show are for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered advice or instruction of any kind.
It was like a mechanical pencil, officer. It just kept coming.
there is more to that disclaimer, and you can check it out online while you're watching the show. It's up there right now. For all the Around Midnight crew, I'm Joe Carbonetta, and reminding you, please don't drink and drive and stay Mixified.
I'm going to go take a bath.
We will see you next Friday night right here on Around Midnight.